Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with a all new look at the F1 22 1.07 patch. Yes, EA and Codemasters have finally brought out a new update to the game. They're still trying to tweak a few things when it comes to AI performance and things like that. But today, we have got our first all-new track, or I say all-new track, on F1 22. Yes, Portimao has made a return, the home of what was the Portuguese Grand Prix for just a couple of seasons there. I must admit, I'm quite a big fan of Portimao. I always really loved it on F1 at 2021. I think a lot of people strongly disliked it, and I never really understood why. It felt like an old-school circuit. I think that's why I enjoyed it as much as I did there. So, you know, to be able to race around Portimao today, really looking forward to it. At the moment, I don't think you can actually race it in career mode. I don't know whether you'll be able to add it in future seasons down the line, but you certainly won't be able to race it in the first season of your career modes there. But of course, Hamilton took the 2 race wins around this venue. 17 corners, 2.8 miles, a weirdly short track. It was always, you know, corners come at you thick and fast around Portimao, but yeah, it was only a lap time of, I think, you know, the top guy's probably going to be able to run sort of 1 minute 14s and things like that. But of course, what I always do when we do these little track, you know, sort of showcases, track reviews, is we'll jump into some free practice and then we'll do a 25% last question mark challenge. So yeah, let's jump into practice then here from Portimao. Excited to be heading back to the Portuguese Grand Prix circuit. Excited to see whether there's going to be any subtle changes as well. But before we jump into that, first, a quick word from our sponsor. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto. And I think the best ways to showcase Portimao as a race circuit then is actually by doing our first lap in cockpit cam. So this is going to be sort of our first look at Portimao on F1 22. Of course, you head down the long front straight with a plunge in towards the first corner. Top guy's probably looking at their braking point around the 75 meters there. 5th, 6th gear through turn 1, turn 2, again a completely flat right-hander, and then slowing it all the way down. They're actually one of the slowest corners in Formula 1 through turn 3 there. First left-hander of the lap, as you really have to try and modulate the throttle on the exit there to avoid wheel spin. Activate the DRS, and then again you want to be looking at about the 100 meter board down in towards turn 5 there. Again, another low-speed hairpin where you've really got to struggle to put down the throttle on the exit. Through turn 6, a small left-hand kink there before you head into the next double right-hander on the lap. The inside of this corner was always absolutely brutal. I'm definitely going to be testing that over the course of this video, and then up the hill once more before you plunge down the other side. All the way up to 7th gear. This corner, one of the most difficult ones to really spot your turning in point around the track there. You have to really go a whole lot later than you think you do there, as again the track falls away as you try and put 1,000 horsepower into the road. We've got a tricky double hairpin right towards the end of the lap. The first one to the left, and then back through the second one through the right. Yeah, really got to try and modulate again as you try not to let the front end wash out too badly on corner exit there. And then at the final corner, should be completely pinned in a modern Formula 1 car. I know on F1 2021 it could be a bit difficult if you have the DRS activated. And then up towards the line, first lap not particularly great, a 1:22.0, but we're going to try and chase some times and see what I can learn, see if there's any subtle changes around Portimao. Of course, thinking about it, ground effect actually should make this track a whole lot more easy for a lot of drivers, you know, especially as you've got that grip coming from underneath the car now, rather than trying to rely on the downforce through a lot of the slower speed stuff. So I think Portimao, you know, kind of got dropped because neither of the races, apart from the first few laps of the 2020 event, were particularly exciting. Yeah, I wonder, with the new 2022 cars, you know, a lot more tracks are providing good races. I certainly think Portimao, you know, I would love to have seen it stay on the real-life Formula 1 calendar as well. But I know a lot of people are kind of giving Cody stick for sort of reintroducing this. I've never really understood why. It's a free update. You don't have to pay for Portimao or anything like that. Why would you not quite happily have an extra track in the game, you know? And yes, it might have been fairly easy to port or something like that, but it's free content at the end of the day there. Some people are just never going to be happy, and I'm sure if they'd made you pay for it, people would have been far more unhappy as well. There we go, second lap, immediately finding another few seconds. I will show you my setup in just a moment when I get a good lap, but it is certainly not particularly brilliant around here. As that time round, we just run a tiny bit wide over the curb at turn 2. Niels Wittich, pretty much, yeah, wanted me gone to the shadow round. Well, I'm still absolutely getting the impression, though, that a lot of the corners, for those of you that drove this track on F1 2021, are still very, very difficult on F1 2022. I definitely feel like I can get down into the 17s, though, around Portimao. Like I said, you know, I'm on a race setup rather than anything solely designed to extract the most pace over one lap there, as we don't really maximise our run through turn 1. Like I said, you know, top guys on PC are probably going to get down towards, I think, yeah, the 115s. So if I can be, you know, a couple of seconds away from that. To be honest, nowadays, you know, I'm washed up. I'm not what I used to be. I'll take that. You know, I'm basically an old man now. That's just, these things happen. There we go then, out of the final corner. This is going to be our 1:17 lap time then here at Portimao. Not the best lap in the world, but certainly feel like you're giving you guys a good idea of what a fairly solid lap looks around this circuit. 1:17.918 there. Puts us 301st currently on Xbox, which I will absolutely take, like I said, on a race setup. For those of you that are interested, this is the setup that I have used for this one. 2430 wings. You know, Portimao quite high downforce circuit. 6055, that's just what I always use on transmission. Again, the same for geometry. I just use these standard numbers pretty much around every circuit on the calendar. 747467. You want quite a high ride height at Portimao, of course, because you are going up and down so much around the circuit. 150% on the brake bias and brake pressure. Always run that, and then you can see pretty low tyre pressures is what I normally run as well on F1 22. But yeah, let's jump into it then. A last question mark challenge here at Portimao. We're going to do this one as championship leader Max Verstappen. Before we jump into that though, I just wanted to let you know of a brilliant competition going on hosted by Imperium Experiences. Have you ever wanted to attend the Italian Grand Prix? Yes, the home of Ferrari, the temple of speed, and of course the mighty Tifosi. Imperium Experiences are offering you the chance to win 2 tickets for the weekend and a 3-night stay at a 4-star hotel. All you have to do is enter their competition on their site linked down below in the description or my bio, and you could be off out to Monza. The competition is limited to just 900 entries, however, and closes on the 6th of August, so make sure if you want to get involved to do it as soon as possible. Currently, they're also offering an extra promotion where if you buy 2 entries, you get a 3rd completely free, increasing your chances to win at an incredibly cheap price. They even have a handy guide on their site on how to enter, so I would definitely recommend checking it out, and a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video.
You join us here in Portimao as we prepare for what will undoubtedly be a magnificent day of racing. It's time, of course, for the Portuguese Grand Prix. So Portimao features 15 turns over the course of its 2.9-mile length. 9 are right-handers, 6 are to the left. This is a track with a lot of uphill action, which only accentuates the importance of getting those exits right, especially at turn 4, where a good line can present opportunities to pass on the way into turn 5. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz and Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Gasly, Mick Schumacher and Magnussen, Joe, Albon, Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll, Latifi and Max Verstappen completes the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And what would any Grand Prix weekend be without the one and only Natalie Pinkham? Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And apart from that, keep an eye out for anyone getting a good launch from the midfield. You see it happen from time to time, and it can really throw a spanner into the races of the quicker cars and push them onto a more risky strategy.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, well, here we are then, ready back in Portimao for the Portuguese Grand Prix, starting at the back as Max Verstappen, and yeah, must admit, really looking forward to getting back into it here. I completely forgot to try and do the alternate strategy, though. I might or might not have pressed the wrong button. I've now got no idea how much spare fuel we've got either, but the show must go on, I suppose. One of the other things I must admit I love about Portimao, as well as a few of the other circuits in Formula 1, is of course, yeah, where it's just so much elevation change, you can actually see other cars going round on different parts of the circuit, of course, on the formation lap, where they're a bit more spread out. I know it's not much, but it is still quite fun and interesting, I think, you know, sort of think, oh yeah, there's another racetrack right over there as well. But Charles Leclerc will line up on pole position then, ready for the Portuguese Grand Prix here today. But like I said, let me know down in the comments below where you think we'll be able to finish in this race this afternoon. They're starting from P20 as Max Verstappen. He did pretty well at the Hungaroring to go from 10th to 1st there, and the fact it was just such a calm and collected 10th to 1st goes to show just how much Ferrari are throwing away a world title at the moment. But trying to build up temperature then in the tyres. Not the longest run to turn 1, but we've just got to try and make sure we keep it clean and tidy. Purple score there as we wait for Latifi, somehow starting ahead of me, but still going to line up behind, or after me even, I should say, on the grid. But ready then here for the Portuguese Grand Prix, 5 red lights, and it is going to be a very long hold, but lights out, and away we go. Can we try and get a good launch? No in a word there, but that I'm sure comes to absolutely no surprise to most of our regular viewers there. It's 3 wide down in towards the first corner, and we're going to try and navigate our way around both of the Canadians there as we head through turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 3. How many cars can we get around the outside of as we head through the first couple of turns? They're straight up into P15 we go there, so really trying to use the extra grip that this Red Bull has over most of the back markers here as we head down the hill up the inside of Kevin Magnussen and Mick Schumacher here, having to be really aggressive on this opening lap as we'll try and give Mick some room around the outside on the exit there, and the Haas car is going to come back at me as we head into the double right-hander there. Luckily, we should just be able to hang on this one around the outside there. The AI won't be able to put the traction down on the inside on the exit the corner there, and we will only just slot in front of Mick Schumacher there as he thought about trying to look back at the inside through the next corner. But yeah, up 7 places then in the first 2 sectors of the Grand Prix. That is pretty much the perfect start we could have hoped for here in Portimao. Looks like Perez has gone backwards behind. I'm guessing Lewis Hamilton there as Charles Leclerc leads the way out of the final few corners. But yeah, fingers crossed we should have some good pace here today as we head around the final turn. Charles Leclerc, like we said, does still lead the way there. Can we try and get a run on Pierre Gasly? Just how much wing, actually, do the AI use out of interest round here? Seems like we're running pretty similar levels, which I suppose is reassuring. As we head back down through turn 1, though, that's not going to do me any favours. You don't... Yeah, you don't want to clip that curb. Right, well, we'll try that again then. Try and not take out half the Formula 1 field in the process there as we head up out of turn 4. A lot of spare energy at the moment, so we're going to try and go on the offensive now on Pierre Gasly. A hairpin was always one of my favourite places to go for moves, as we almost ran to the back of my former teammate Daniel Ricciardo. But yeah, I'm in a P12 now then of the Grand Prix, and like I said, you know, in practice, I really do think actually this track, because of course with the ground effect now, this track I think would probably, you notice, one of the biggest differences in Formula 1. Because of course, yeah, I mean, you saw on the fast lap I did in practice, you know, you can now actually take some of the apexes that you had to avoid in the past there. You know, this track does make a whole lot more sense in a weird way with ground effect, but hopefully it's going to make even more sense if I can get around Daniel Ricciardo there. Try to have a look around the outside, not quite able to make anything happen through the double hairpin. We're just going to get underneath him there. Ricciardo kind of gets a bit caught out by it, and he jumps out of the way. So we head in towards the final turn there. George Russell, new fast lap of the Grand Prix, but we're now up just outside the points. It's Yuki Tsunoda that separates us from the top 10. Here we go then, Yuki Tsunoda. We're going to try and do one of my trademark dive bombs up the inside. All Tsunoda. Actually a bit of a lock up there as he panics. So we went up the inside, tiny bit of contact, but we will make the move work once more. Like I said, that was one of my favourite places to make overtakes back on F1 2021 around this circuit. Seems like such a long time ago now, F1 2021. It was literally, what, like 5 weeks ago now. Time moves pretty fast in the F1 world. But yeah, Bottas doing a pretty fine race at the moment up inside the top 10. He's next on the old hit list. The Alfa Romeo certainly not as quick as the Haas car down the straights despite the Ferrari power units. As all Bottas, look at Valtteri Bottas trying to get the elbows out as we do a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. DRS though as we head back down towards turn 1. Should be a done deal there, but we'll give Bottas a space around the outside. He's not going to try and give up on it just yet. But through turn 2, it's weird. Turn 2 is very much a nothing corner, but you do find if you're on the outside there, you basically have to back out of it anyway, despite it really not looking like a corner on paper that you need to. All over the back of Fernando Alonso then, only taking us a couple of laps in what will be his last season for Alpine. Apparently, the rumour is right now, at the time of recording, that Alonso didn't even tell Alpine he was going. They only found out when Aston Martin announced it, and apparently, currently, he's on a boat in Greece as Otmar Safnauer is trying to get in contact with him. I mean, if that isn't just the most Fernando Alonso thing to do, I don't know what is. I mean, there's got to be some questions asked about his seriousness, I suppose, but now Fernando Alonso does as Fernando Alonso wants there as he tries to squeeze me through turn 1. Luckily, we've got a bit more grip there down around the outside, but I mean, yeah, if ever there was more of a Chad Alonso moment, it's surely, I can just picture Otmar Safnauer just there, all red face, bless him. And yeah, now Alpine, I mean, I certainly do believe Oscar Piastri is a fantastic signing. And I'm intrigued to see how he gets on. And I mean, let's be real, with Alonso's track record, Esteban Ocon's probably going to be world champion next year because Fernando has a tendency to leave teams just before they get good. But yeah, we'll wait and see though. Oh, there we go, up and under on Esteban Ocon. Can we do the double up and under on Mate! Esteban Ocon, I mean, there were certainly some questions raised about his driving antics at the start of Hungarian Grand Prix as he tries to squeeze Alonso insanely aggressively there, but we clearly went up the inside of Ocon. He saw me there, we were down the inside, and he just was having none of it. So we're going to try and get an ERS pass on him, and DRS when we get out of the final corner. Lando Norris just a second up the road there, but we've done really well actually to recover back to where we have so far in this Grand Prix. Team on us in the end of this one. I might try and extend this in slightly, but we could try and go for an undercut. Now all over the back of Lando Norris. We only just remembered that we need to peel in the pit lane though. Oh, only just there. Quite happy, to be honest, that we nailed the pit entry on our first attempt here of F1 22 because Portimao's pit lane was always horrible in the previous games. But are we going to get held in the pits? Are we going to get a nice, clean, tidy stop? Looks like it is quite tidy. Faster than the team were expecting there. 2.4 is certainly not shabby as we head back down the pit lane there. And look at that, we've got the jump on Lando Norris. Hadn't even considered that in the pit lane there. We now move up into effectively P6 then of the Grand Prix. The only difficulty we've got now is, of course, trying to get the tyres up to temperature. I mean, look at that through turn 1. I think it is something the AI have also had tweaked. I mean, we're going to find out in just a moment as we head through turn 2 and turn 3. Whoa! They've definitely not quite had it nerfed as badly. I think they have had it altered slightly, but that was not my best line either. I'm so sorry, Lando. That is not... I mean, that is proper Max Verstappen 2021 driving style there. I've absolutely sent it at any opportunity as Lando Norris will tuck in just in front of me once more, but we should be able to stay close. They've definitely altered the AI, or I've done a lot better than I normally do, trying to get heat into the rubber. As we head around the final couple of turns then of lap 8, pretty much now at half race distance here in Portimao as we head through the final corner. See if we can try and get a run on Lando Norris once again. There we've still got plenty of battery to use as we get to the inside of our fellow Brit there, and you can see a few cars have opted to stay out for a couple of extra laps as we will now re-inherit P7 then in this Grand Prix. I say a few cars, it is just one lone Alpha Tauri. I mean, we're not far away from the race leaders here. Sainz seems to have been shuffled back in that group. Hamilton has now got the jump on his teammate George Russell as well. Could we still get a podium as Hamilton and Russell go side by side? Surely this is just going to cost them both bags of time here. I think, yeah, now Hamilton, on hard tyres for whatever reason, has to accept he's lost P3. So here goes Carlos Sainz then on Lewis Hamilton as we set a new fastest lap of the day. Hamilton did so well to get the undercut on the pair of them, but now he's just losing it all by virtue of being put on a bit of a butcher's strategy here. I didn't know Hamilton and Mercedes had picked up the Ferrari strategist there, but around the outside of Carlos Sainz as he's caught napping on the exit of turn 3 there, and Hamilton now surely is going to be a sitting duck in just a moment as we'll see if we can try and out-traction him out of the hairpin. See how much that Merc is struggling. It's not ridiculous. It's not absolutely insane, but he's certainly losing time there as up the inside. Big brave move. There we go. Thank you. Didn't think I'd make an overtake there today, but it's what we've done with Hamilton. Had to admit defeat there as Carlos Sainz sneaks by as well. Now, we're just a second away from the podium. Could we still get Perez by the end of this? And, I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but Charles Leclerc, he's only a few seconds up the road. The final couple of turns, though, of lap 11, now all over the back of F1's most recent pole sitter here. I wonder how George really does feel after the weekend. Surely he thinks, you know, a win was on the table there, but really nice run out the final corner. Look at that slingshot alongside him. This Red Bull is so much faster than Red Bulls of years gone by there. I mean, the gap to Perez is still coming down with just 5 laps to go. I think George Russell wanted to try and look back up the inside through turn 1, but thought better of it. It's certainly not a corner you can go 2x2 very often through, I think it's safe to say. But yeah, 6 laps to go then of this Grand Prix. Sergio Perez 3 seconds up the road. I think Charles Leclerc might just be a little bit too far away, but 2 laps to go then here from Portimao, and now we've finally closed up the gap to my teammate Sergio Perez here. Fingers crossed we might be able to make something happen as we still haven't got much battery left in the car at the moment though. We're going to try and get a nice run at the final turn. Gaining on Sergio, but we just haven't got enough battery at the moment to do anything as we get back down towards turn 1. And we just try and sit close to him though as we head through the first couple of corners. I'm sure the real-life F1 drivers would probably not enjoy coming back to this circuit with the all-new and enforced track limits, but you can see Sergio kicks out the back end as we head up over the crest there. Always difficult to try and put the power down through that corner, but we need to try and find an opening past our teammate here. He's trying to put the throttle down on the exit and just short shift up all the way into 5th gear to avoid the wheel spin. Sergio there, a little bit of a wriggle, but nothing we can do just yet as we head through the next couple of corners. Might be able to try and send it here to the inside of Sergio Perez. Always a difficult corner to try and work it out though, but we've done it. Up the inside we go on Sergio Perez there. A bit of second guessing as we try to make our way through the double apex, but now a bit of P2 of this Grand Prix. Remember, of course, we started right at the very back, and now we've just got 1 more lap to go. Charles Leclerc 2 seconds up the road. Certainly not going to be able to close that down unless Charles makes a bit of a mistake, but yeah, what a recovery this has been through the field. Well, rounding the final lap then here from Portimao, what do I think about the track's return on F1 22? Well, it's a very nice addition. Like I said, I always enjoyed this track back on F1 2021, but you know, if you did drive it on that game, you're probably not going to notice much of a difference at all there. You know, it is a fun experience once again. Like I said, if you're a big fan of it like me, then you'll be welcome to see it back once more. But yeah, I don't think they've really made any changes to it, anything like that. Not that I've been able to notice in this video, but yeah, it was a little bit broken on F1 2021. The AI were incredibly OP around this venue. Nice to see that isn't quite the case on F1 22. But rounding the final corner, Charles Leclerc is going to win this race. But that has been our first proper race then at Portimao on the all-new F1 game.
Yes, come on, we're on the podium. Good job this weekend. Great drive. Thank you.
They take the checkered flag here then in Portimao in what has been another outstanding Grand Prix. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
Often, my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Portuguese Grand Prix. It is Charles Leclerc that walks away with the race victory there, but yeah, we certainly very, very happy with 20th to 2nd there when all is said and done. A massive thanks to all of you guys, though, for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Trying to hit 80k at the moment on the channel. You know, if you could help me get one step closer, it would be massively appreciated as well. But yeah, that's going to do us for this one, though. Let me know your thoughts on Portimao down below if you've tried it as well. And we'll be back tomorrow. It's normal service resuming. We'll be back ready for the Monaco Grand Prix and the My Team series. You do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.